morning and welcome to Winnipeg. And we got our water back yesterday afternoon. Now I don't know what time it actually came back on, but I imagine it was probably late in the afternoon. I was busy using up the pails of water that I had accumulated in the first thing in the morning. And so I wasn't about to try the taps because I wanted to make sure that our neighborhood, you might say, finally got the dirty water out of the system. I don't know why it is that whenever they repair they turn off our water and do something somewhere, our water is brown and sandy, and like you'd think they could take it apart and put it together without getting a bunch of sand in the line, but apparently they can't because they never do. If every once in a while they shut the water off and did a big repair job and then your water was clean, you'd know, yes, it can be done. So do it every time. But no, that's not the way it goes. Anyway, we got our water back. And the neighbor in question, where you saw the tractor digging the hole in front of their yard, well, that was 2 doors over. And they didn't have any water. And what happened was my neighbor next door, they ran a hose from his outside tap to the outside tap of the other neighbor who didn't have water, and they just backed it up that way, and so that at least they had water. Now, here in Winnipeg in the wintertime, that will only work if you let the line slowly run all the time. Otherwise, it'll freeze up solid. And that's what they did, and apparently it worked. No, and I know you're probably thinking, well, my goodness, they're letting the water run. That the water meter is from the neighbor who's supplying his next door neighbor with water. He's going to have a much larger water bill. Well, what they did was they came into his house and they read his meter, and then they read it again after they finished doing whatever it is they did, and then they subtract the difference off of his bill. So that's all right. Kind of a waste of water, but I guess it's just a little trickle, just enough to keep the hose or whatever. I think it's just like a type of garden hose. I don't think it was insulated or anything, but on the other hand, maybe it was. Maybe it was an insulated hose so that it could get down to like -40 and still not freeze. Well, they'd have to have something like that, otherwise it wouldn't work. Anyway, enough about the water. We are finally done step 1. And what we started this on November the 27th, and what do we got here? Well, right now it is the 15th. What's that, going on 3 weeks? We just weren't getting anywhere, were we? However, we do have a lot of parts already cut up and ready to go here for step 2. All the pieces are ready for step 2. Now, one of the viewers sent a YouTube link for a submarine that's on display in Germany. I watched it again. I'd seen it about 4 years ago. Well, maybe not that long ago. And about 4 years ago I'd seen it when it first came out, and it's fantastic. And you get to go through a submarine very similar to the one that I'm making here. And a guy walks through with his camera, and he does a pretty good job. And you get to see the colors and how cramped it is, and most of the stuff that you're looking at, you have no idea what it is. There's valves and gauges and everywhere. It's unbelievable. Well, I guess it worked. Anyway. I recommend, if you haven't seen that, I recommend you see it if you're interested in this build, because it will give you a much better insight as to colors and shades, and for instance, a lot of the stuff is sort of a light creamy color, a white color. Well, very, very similar to that actually. Yeah, it's similar to that, only maybe a little bit more creamy. At least that's what it looked like in this guy's video. Yeah, check it out. It's worth seeing. You have to go into the comments for yesterday's video, and you'll see it there. And to that viewer who reminded me about it, thanks very much. I watched it again this morning. It was worth watching. Okay, now let's move on to step 2 here. And oh, and by the way, in that video, you actually see this part right here. You actually see that in behind where the bunk beds are. And I believe that this would be like the officers' bunks, from what I'm getting out of it. And you can see that it was actually, they've got sort of a wood color here. Well, you can see that, yes, that was actually wood. Now, you wouldn't think there'd be any wood inside a submarine, but, I guess the decor, if there's such a thing as decor in a submarine. But anyway, it's, you got to see it. And, the radio room and all the stuff. I didn't see any light fixtures, but then I forgot to look. They were probably there. I don't want to talk about the lighting today. I want to move on. Okay, so let's move on. What is the first thing we got to do here? Well, it looks like we have to mount these little beds. Make sure I get them the right way up because they're sort of textured to give the illusion of sheets or something. Yeah, and they have to be mounted on this. But as near as I can tell, I do believe that this is a dark brown and this is a light brown. We'll check the color guide here, and let's recompose and get at this here, because I think before we actually glue these in place here, we should really paint them the different colors, and that way I don't need to worry about touching the dark brown with the light brown when I'm trying to paint this. Okay, let's recompose here. Oh, we've got a rollback. Yeah, I forgot. We got a rollback. So let's roll back. Okay, I've been doing a lot of thinking about these LEDs that I've got. Now, I don't know if the ones that are going to be coming on Amazon, like the 3mm ones, I think they're coming tomorrow, but I'm not sure. Anyway, these ones here are designed in such a way that they emit the light off the top more than off the sides. Now, a little bit comes off the sides because if there was nothing coming off the sides, you wouldn't be able to see that they're on. See? However, considerably more comes off the top. Okay, so keeping that in mind, what I'm thinking of right now is, what if I was to take and paint the sides black so that no light at all came out the sides, and then these LEDs were positioned inside the hull in such a way that they would shine onto a place on the superstructure which would have a tendency to be bright under normal circumstances. Now, maybe this will not work, but being as if the light comes out of the top, a person would only need to have a very small hole in the floor area, and it would go up and bounce off the ceiling, if you know what I mean. I'm just sort of, once again, I'm just sort of thinking about this. Okay. Let's just, for the fun of it, let's just take one of these little bulbs and paint the sides black and just leave only the top, the dome part, clear. Okay, so what I've got here is XF1 flat black, and it may take 2 coats. Yeah, oh yeah, this is not going to work, is it, folks? I'm going to possibly have to score the outer surface, because yeah, it's not going to work. Unless I was to use maybe the Stylorez. Stylorez might stick to it. Okay, let's get that off of there, and let's try our Stylorez. Now, I did rinse this off with isopropyl. So there is the possibility there was a greasy or waxy coating on the glass which was causing it to bead up like that, but I don't think so. Anyway, and in other words, what I'm saying is it's quite possible that the XF1 might have also worked in this case. Now, let's just watch and see what's going to happen with our Stylorez. This is the... no, it's not working either. Okay, the only other thing I can think of to do if I wanted to cover up the outside and only have the light emanating out the top is wrap tape around it. But tape might slowly let go. That's the problem. Yeah, this is not going to work. It's not going to work. If there was a way that I could etch the glass, but you know, we're doing an awful lot of fooling around here for nothing, aren't we? Now, you see these two little square things right here? This one and this one? Would that be some sort of a diode or a resistor, maybe? It almost looks like it could be when you look at it up close like this. It almost looks like this square little piece right here is separating this from this. Now, I don't know. Maybe somebody that's you know, up on this kind of thing knows exactly what this is. And okay, now the more I mess around with these LEDs, the more I like Paul's idea of having the sub in a dust-free case and have the side open and then have some sort of strip lighting. Now, being as that these things, these bulbs, they focus off of the end like this, they could maybe I could almost make like some sort of a spotlight thing out of all these LEDs that I'm getting. I don't know if I want to be bothered, but we'll see what happens when the time comes. That's not going to be for a long time, but yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on in there, and they figured out a way to make this thing really, really cheap. They make them literally by the millions, I think. And okay, have I poked at this enough? I guess the reason I keep turning it is so I can try and get a different glimpse of the components on the inside. I think that those components are completely encased in hard plastic, which would make them extremely tough. Okay, enough poking around here. We'll see you in the morning. Okay, we've got the two different browns going on here. And I'm going to try an experiment in a moment. And I've never actually done this before. But you'll notice where the black line goes through a dark area. Well, it does appear that this line actually stops right there. And this line, you can't really see where does it actually stop. But I'm going to try an experiment. Just let me move in a bit here. I'm going to override the exposure. Okay, now you can see it. Now everything else is kind of washed out, but at least the dark area now is, you know, properly exposed, so you can see where the black line ends. So the 37 obviously is the dark, but when we look at the 37, just let me recompose here. Okay, we turn these like this. we can see our 310 on the left and our 37 on the right. And the 37 does appear darker in a way, but it's more red, isn't it? The 37 almost it looks more like the beds instead of the background, the backboard. Well, actually, these are little cubby holes, I guess, for storage of stuff. Probably personal items for the crew. Okay, let's do some painting here. Okay, now I remember quite a while ago, probably a couple of weeks ago, when we were talking about colors and so on, and I think I was sort of complaining about the fact that, you know, Trumpeter didn't say what color this frame is supposed to be, like along the edge here and so on. Now we don't need to do the bottom, but these go in like so. Okay, now it's from here out is the light gray. So let's just mask this off. Hopefully this is going to work now. Okay, and to make it easy for myself, I'm just going to turn it like this. And I will try not to I don't think I need to mask up here, because I'm going to be using a brush, not an airbrush. Okay. Now we'll just do this. We'll just do this center part right here in the, what is it going to be? 37. And also we don't need to do these little areas here, because these are going to be glued on. Can't pick them up. Okay, they're going to be glued on the top like that after they are painted. And all right, let's maybe I should mount some of this stuff so that I don't have to hold it like this. And yeah, like maybe I could use some blue tack or something and stick it on something. Okay, I do not want to be pooling it on this part right here, because I'll lose the detail. Even though this paint does seem to shrink wrap pretty well. I don't know if it shrink wraps as well as the Tamiya does, but all right. Maybe I should be thinning this. Let's just see how this is going to go on. I might have to do 2 coats. Oh, maybe not. Let's see how it goes here. It doesn't matter if it's a little bit I think maybe I'll just give it 2 coats. Try and put a light coat on here. Although in all likelihood we're not going to be able to see the detail in behind. You know, this is all going to be sort of in the background behind the beds, right? Just trying to scrub it into all the little nooks and crannies here and then smooth out the top later. Yeah, we'll give that a second coat. Now, as for this part down here, like I say, I don't need to paint this. And there's not a whole lot of detail that we have to worry about here, so we'll just, maybe I could use a different brush too. Oh, that was a little bit thick, wasn't it now? Now this edge right here is going to be glued down onto the other part. I wonder if it would have been better to have glued it together first. No, this tongue doesn't matter if I get it or not, but I do want to make sure that I've got because this will be visible, the edge that I'm doing right now. But not the bottom. Maybe I'll do the edge first. I don't think too much of this is going to be seen, but maybe I better just... I was hoping to leave a lot of bare plastic so that when I glue the parts together, maybe right here we didn't do too good. Just in case there is a little bit of overlap. Okay, how does that look? Okay, let's let this dry, clean my brush, and then I'll give this a second coat. Yeah, I think I've got two of these number 37s, in which case I could probably have one that's thinned and one that isn't. Okay, I just realized that I painted all of this stuff and I forgot to press record. And here, while I was busy painting it, I was thinking, oh, I'll dub in some nice painting music. Well, I guess I can forget about that now. Okay, we'll let this dry and see what it looks like. Okay, this piece goes right here. And it's keyed on the bottom, so it can either go this way. Well, it's supposed to go either this way or this way, so we'll have to see how the key works on the other part, which right now is drying in the kitchen in front of the fan. Now this one here, it's gonna have to have a decal So let me show you here. Apparently some of the decal is supposed to be stuck on this thing. And this is really, I don't know if I can do that. I'm going to try, just for the fun of it. But obviously the decal would have to go on after this was painted, I would think. Well, let's just check this out here. Once again, it's not clear. Okay, this is supposed to be H335. Just that part. It could be that, is the whole thing supposed to be 335? All right. Now, it looks like we're supposed to use decals number 57, 58, and 59. But I think that is supposed to be done after we paint this thing, the H335. Now, the H335 is pretty much what it is already. We've got the Tamiya XF19 situation going on here a little bit. However, my concern is, I guess I could leave that there. Now, if we find on our decal sheet number 57, 58, and 59, it is I don't know if you can see it there, but it's actually a little square with a whole bunch of little dots on it, and that would have to be, placed on here and moved just into the right spot, and then use, forget the name of it. I've got two different kinds of decal solution. One is stronger than the other, and it would be the strong one that you would use that would almost melt the plastic part of the decal here. I guess if worst comes to worst, it'll be ruined, and it won't be on there. Now, the only other thing a person could do would be to paint this, and then with a little brush. Let me see if with a little brush here. Okay, I don't think this is my littlest brush, but could a person just maybe that brush that Gabe gave us, it was pretty kind of pointy. Maybe I could just put a little dot of, black on it, but in all likelihood I'd make a mess of it. I'm just wondering if this is going to be just a little bit too delicate for me here. But I think we should try it. Okay, now I'm pretty sure that what we're supposed to do is this whole thing is supposed to be the 335. Or is it? See, the thing of it is the arrow. If you go from the 335, it stops right there on the top of this. Now does that mean that just the outside is the 335, and the inside is the bare plastic, which the decal might actually stick better to? It's not clear, is it? Okay, we're going to try this AK extra thin, but I got a feeling that it is not one iota different from the Tamiya. I don't know. It seems to be drying pretty quick. I wonder if I should maybe be using something a little thicker here, like maybe the Rebel. Okay, let's try and get that square on there now. I'm looking straight down on it. Okay, you know what? I think I'm going to use the Tamiya regular glue. Yeah, it'll also have a melding effect. No, this is the one that drips. Okay, sort of put it in place there. I think that's pretty good. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to do this other one the same way. Okay, we've got to give this piece a second coat with the H37. I think it's just about ready for that now. It's been about 3-4 hours, I guess, since I painted it. And we made a little bit of progress today, not much. We're left maybe with more questions than answers, at least when it comes to the decals. Now, today, one of my grandkids has a Christmas program going on, and they're expecting Grandpa to be there. So, yeah, Grandpa wants to. So, Grandpa's going to call it quits here for today. And thanks for watching, everybody. And the sunrise. I don't know yet. I'm going to go check it out. If it's decent, I'll stick it at the end. If it's not, well, hey. Thanks for watching, everybody. And all being well, we're going to see you tomorrow.